You know, it's funny because even the Bible itself says that, right? Where it talks about God growing the wheat with the tares. So, and I could say, even personally in my life, as somebody who grew up in church, I've had some of my most painful and toxic experiences in church. And I've also had some of the most life changing and powerful experiences in church. And so, look, anywhere you find people, you're going to find the good and the bad. And sometimes we can even be attracted to bad or toxic things because of our own wounds or because of our own toxic cycles. And it has nothing to do with the environment as much as it has to do with us being attracted to bad things. And I can even say that was the case for myself. When I went to certain churches, I found myself drawn to toxic personalities, and because I didn't know how to get, I wasn't used to healthy personalities, and so it wasn't until I changed and got healthier that I started to learn that I could actually have healthier experiences in church. So, there's so many different things that I think impact a person's experience, but I do think it's important to not throw out the baby with the bathwater, because ultimately the church is God's answer to the world as far as being a representation of not only Christ but also being the change. And I'm not saying like a church as in a building that has, you know, all these seats and all this money, but I'm meaning God's people, people who are really interested in living out the truth and really interested in being disciples and ultimately going and creating a better environment around them, a better world. Like that is God's answer. And so we can't forsake that, because to forsake the church is essentially to forsake yourself, right? And to forsake your brothers and sisters in the spirit. And that's not what God wants. So yeah, I just think it's good to be aware when people go into church or they go into these church setting, these buildings, and they're expecting perfection. They have to know that's not going to happen. Like, I think if people knew, like, warning, warning, you're walking into a place with imperfect people, then they could be aware and not be so heartbroken when they see people acting anything less than perfect. Because at the end of the day, we're still people, right? Church is for broken people who are learning to be like Christ, but folks are broken in the process. So you'll see just about anything.